Hello everyone, this is William Armstrong with the technology update, a very short one. I've downloaded an HP BIOS update that puts this computer's BIOS version to a 2020 update that fixes a Intel microcode issue involving the Spectre and Meltdown attacks. I went to HP's website and found the correct BIOS update for it, and it works now. It worked before the update, and it still works after the update. The moral of the video story here is when getting BIOS updates from your computer's manufacturer's website, follow the directions to a T. One wrong move and you'll brick your computer's BIOS. Some BIOSes have a boot block emergency flash recovery if something goes horribly wrong, but for some computers that isn't the case. I will explain it to you very, very shortly by pulling up a explanation. When I ran the BIOS update, it pulled up a HTML page directly from HP about it when I downloaded the BIOS update manually, and it works. There are two different methods to flash through Windows or DOS or MS-DOS. Like FreeDOS could also be used to flash a computer BIOS, but that's for experts only and technicians that know what they're doing. Any ordinary user that's a novice user to computers shouldn't try this unless if they want to break their machine. I'll show you what this is. The logo file that comes with it is basically going to be a HP logo. I will open and show you what that is. Some computer BIOSes may allow you to flash a different logo to the computer BIOS itself. I know that HP might allow it. It just is a little bit expert-wise. But flashing a system BIOS to a computer is very dangerous and risky because the power goes out on a stormy day, or if you have power brownouts, and next thing you know, you attempt to flash your computer's desktop directly with the BIOS flash, you'll end up breaking it. It gives you different methods through Windows, the escape key or the startup menu, BIOS setup utility, or a bootable USB storage device with DOS on it. It gives you different update methods. If we go here, it supports all the different the ProDesk models. It supports the Desk Pro model 600G1, AIO Business, SFF, TWR, minus the 600G1 SFF small form factor business PC. This is a business desktop with business-like features. This mainly fixes a security issue in version 2.78. That's what it's a security fix patch. That's what all it's doing. It really just does a patch. It added new features in previous BIOS revisions. The initial release was 2.05, but the very security patch was 2.78. Mainly were just security updates is what it was doing, primarily. Now, you can do the Windows Flash Wizard, or the HPQ Flash. There is a boot block emergency recovery in case if the BIOS update fails or the power unexpectedly drops out. The BIOS may get corrupted during a flash. Therefore, the computer boots into an emergency recovery. If it detects that condition, it'll automatically attempt to search for the BIOS file. Then it will reload the BIOS. If it detects an existing BIOS file directly on a storage device or HDD or actually a hard disk drive or a FAT32 or FAT partition, but obviously it is not recommended to attempt to try to update a BIOS if you're having electrical power supply problems. If your whole household power goes out and your desktop's plugged into the wall, and if the power went out, it would knock out the desktop while it's updating the BIOS and cause severe damage. But in some cases, the damage can be reversed, some not. An example is a Dell Inspiron or Dell XPS Studio computer I had before. A family member gave me was a big desktop that was almost like a high performance desktop with 2 optical drives, 2 hard disk drives, an Intel processor. It had an NVIDIA graphics card. It was one of those Windows 7 machines, and it seemed to try to take Windows 10. It did, but it was unsupported to run Windows 10 for that computer. It's on my earlier videos in 2019 and the earlier start of 2019, or actually earlier start of 2020 rather, that I did a BIOS update of Windows 10 and on the Dell XPS Studio computer, and that basically caused it to be bricked, as in when I turn it on, it displayed an orange light, meaning a problem with the system board. Therefore, the BIOS got completely bricked to where the computer would turn the fans on, but nothing else would spin up. I learned my lesson from that mistake when updating a BIOS. Mainly the BIOS updates may be for Windows 10 or Windows 7, but that case, the BIOS update from Dell for that particular machine was for Windows 7 only, not for Windows 10. But when I connected the computer to the internet, the Dell XPS Studio, it began to tell me that Windows 7 is at the end of support of January 2020, where it basically brought up a blue screen saying, "This is urgent. Windows 7 extended support ends on January 14th, 2020. Right around in January is when it ended. So when I connected that Windows 7 machine to the internet to begin to test its graphics card, the NVIDIA card that was already built in with the computer as a stock PCI card, I wanted to connect it online to get some of my Steam games or Origin games, put it to its test to see what it can handle. And that's when I got that update message from Microsoft itself. Microsoft Update, it basically got installed and downloaded. And that's when I learned my lesson on that. So I've learned my lesson with that, and I know not to do it again or learn to be careful next time. But this is William Armstrong signing out. See you next time. Bye-bye.